Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Learn to Mod. In the last video, we created a mod that would send us a message if we were above a certain height. In this video, we're going to be creating a mod that will send us a message if we are inside of a red square. So right now, we have no message, but if we step inside, hello! Alright, let's get started. Before you begin, I would highly recommend making your own red square, as well as watching the previous video. In this video, you will learn about the Minecraft coordinate system, and statements, and multiple if statements. Let's pull up the code from last time. To determine if the player is in the box, we need to know their X and Z values. We don't really need to worry about their Y position, so I'm going to save some time by changing this Y to an X. Now, instead of checking the player's Y position, the computer will check the player's X position. However, this is not enough. We also need to change this value to a value of X that will mark our box. We can find this value by going into Minecraft and pressing F3. This pulls up all kinds of information, including our X, Y, and Z position. Now, all we have to do is walk to the edge of our box and look at the value. In our case, it looks like the edge of the box is 2,334. So, if the player is greater than 2,334, they are inside of the box. Why don't we plug that number in and see what it does? Once again, that number was 2,334. Now let's mod it and test it out. Once again, open your mod chest and grab your mod, then scroll over and left-click to use it. At the moment, it doesn't do anything, but you'll see that if we walk into the square, and then we use it, we get ourselves a little message. Now this is a good start, but it does have a couple of problems. The largest problem is that currently we have only defined one side of the box. This means that our mod will work inside of the box, as well as over here, and on this side, and this side. So we will need to add in some extra details to define the other sides of the box. Let's go ahead and do that. We want to tell the computer to activate the mod when we have passed one edge of the box, but not to activate if we pass the other edge. To do this, we are going to use an AND statement. You can find AND statements under the Logic tab. AND statements are a way of modifying if statements. Now, the if statement will check to see if two criteria are true. If even one of them is false, the if statement will not continue to the do statement. Let's take a look at Minecraft for a moment. We want the mod to activate when the X value is greater than 2,334. But we want it to stop activating when our X value is greater than 2,336. We already have half of it right here. We want the mod to activate when the user's location is greater than 2,334. We also want to modify this so that it also must be less than 2,336. To save some time, I'm going to copy this chunk of code. All you have to do is click on it, and then right-click and click Duplicate. And now we have an exact copy. Now we only need to modify this a little bit. We want to change this number to 2,336, and we also want to change the greater than sign to a less than sign. Now we'll stick that into the second hole. Now our mod will activate if the X value is greater than 2,334 and the X value is less than 2,336. Why don't we go ahead and test this out? It looks like our mod has loaded. Let's give it a go. So it's not activating out here, but it is activating inside of the box. Now, if we walk to the other side, the mod does not activate anymore. Now, if your mod isn't working, go ahead and double check your greater than and less than symbols. If you have them reversed, you can accidentally tell the mod to only activate if it is greater than 2336 and less than 2334, which is impossible. Now, some of you might be wondering why we bothered to go through the trouble of defining an area when we could just use the equals block. That is a great question. The problem is because the equals block is very specific. The mod will only activate if our location is equal to exactly 2334. However, if you look in Minecraft, our x value is very rarely exactly at that. While the equals block is very useful in many situations, in the cases of looking for a player's location, it is usually better to define a region. Now that we have our x position working properly, we'll want to do the same thing with our z position. So once again, we'll return to Minecraft. Now it looks as though one of our edges is at negative 898, and the other edge of our box is located at negative 896. Remember, we're working with negatives now, so we want the mod to activate when it is greater than negative 898 and less than negative 896. Let's go ahead and put that in. Once again, since we are using very similar code to last time, we can save ourselves some time by copying and pasting. Let's go ahead and click this entire if statement, and then duplicate it. Now we just need to make a couple of changes. Let's replace the x's with z's. And remember, we want the mod to activate when our z value is greater than negative 898, and the mod to activate when it is less than negative 896. Now, let's delete the extra message block and drag our new if statement into the old one. Now the first if statement will check to see if both of these values are true, and if they are, it will move on to the second if statement, which will check these two values, and if those are also true, it will send us a message. Now, some of you might be wondering, can't we just use an extra long AND statement to accomplish the same thing? And you're right, we can. Using an AND statement would accomplish the same thing as putting these two if statements inside of each other. And that's what's fun about coding. There's often multiple ways to accomplish the same task, allowing you to be a bit creative with your solutions. Why don't we go ahead and test this in Minecraft? So now, if we activate our mod, we'll see that if we're outside of the square anywhere, the mod won't activate. But if we step inside of the square, we get a message. Now it is a little bit inconvenient that we need to always activate the mod in order for the message to be sent, rather than the message being automatically sent when we step in the square. If you want to learn how to fix this problem, go ahead and watch our next video. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.